on. Oh, yeah. Look at who I got. A big name.
Big name.
Yes. Big name. Very recognizable face. A famous American known for so many things.
So many.
Very excited to have the great Michael Ian Black back on the show. The CNN show has been renewed. Have I got news for you? Season 4. Congratulations on that.
I thank you.
And you're doing a podcast to partner with it, which I got to be a guest on. A lot of fun. You've moved. There's a lot going on. You're very busy. There's nothing you haven't done career wise. But what can't you do? Put together a shelf, perhaps?
No, I mean, if there's one thing I feel like, one strength I have that rises above all others, it's my handyman skills. As we were discussing just before you went live, the latest handyman adventure is putting up some shelving, which surprisingly necessitated me breaking half of our coffee cups. You wouldn't think that would be part of the assembly process, but it absolutely is.
Were they a specific collection that you can't, are they irreplaceable?
No, and in fact, I have been suggesting to my lovely bride that we actually do get rid of some coffee cups because I felt like we had too many. So you may think to yourself, Michael, were you just sabotaging? Was this some kind of subconscious sabotage on your part? And the answer to that is, I don't know.
But maybe it was in there. All right. Well, I'm glad there's not too much guilt about it, but it is impressive. I mean, there's nothing career-wise. You've done it all. You've written books. You have done every type of live performance in the world of comedy, television. I just saw you the other night. I have forgotten, and I watched Superman again, and there you were in the latest Superman, a huge movie, a James Gunn movie. Could you land a small one propeller plane if the pilot died and you had expert on a headset like they see in movies that you've probably been in? Could you land it?
How many coffee cups are involved?
There's no coffee cups there.
And no.
It's nothing they can't do. All right. Now that everybody is starting to join us live, thank you for joining us live. And I'm on all these different platforms now. You are still doing the Substack. I just read your latest. I love your writing above all, I think. I might love your writing above all. I hope that you're still enjoying the Substacking because we are.
So you prefer my writing to my cock?
Yes.
Okay.
That's right.
All right.
I look deep inside. I'm not that kind of, but it is, your fame, however, does make it seem more worthy than all of it. But I was looking at your most popular Substacks of the year, and been some doozies, man. It was a hell of a year, and now we're on to it. Just keeps moving.
I wish there was less to write about. Wouldn't that be great?
Spend more time fixing things, pursuing your hobbies and interests, and season 4 of the CNN show. That's exciting. Have you been enjoying that? You're so good on it. It's very good. I love that show. I'm glad CNN allows y'all to do it the way you do.
It is such a fun show to do. Have I got news for you? It's on Saturdays on CNN. It comes back January 24th for our 4th season, as you mentioned. It's so fun. It's Roy Wood Jr. hosting, Amber Ruffin and myself as co-captains. And then we have guests who join our teams. And it's just, it's a comedy news quiz show, heavy on the comedy, light on the quiz. But yeah, it's great. It's super fun to do. I'm very, very grateful to CNN for, as you said, allowing us to do it the way we want to do it. They've been amazing. They haven't given us any problems at all.
I love Roy. I've gotten to know him real well over the years. Very talented guy, but I'm guessing you realize at this point he's on the set. He's a monster. No eye contact. He's worse than you were on your Comedy Central show, I think.
That's right. He is. Well, I mean, is Devo? Is that what you call the male diva? A Devo?
He's a real prince as he walks around.
He wasn't so goddamn talented, I would resent the hell out of it, but you got to give it to him. It's a funny cat.
Where do you think we are in the world of media? It's interesting because you've got a foot in every part of it. And I don't know. I know what you're selling. I love the Substack. You're great on CNN. You're great on social media and wherever you go, podcasts like mine. But what do you take in? How do you know who to trust, Michael Ian Black?
It's hard, right? It's really hard. It's really hard to know who to trust, what to trust. And I always thought of myself as a somewhat discerning consumer, but I'm starting to question that. Like, I think I'm just as susceptible to propaganda and marketing as anybody else. And so I'm very much trying to keep my biases in check. It's hard when you're so biased against an administration as I am, because they're monsters. So like this thing with Venezuela, I go, all right, is there any good that can come of this? Is there anything good that can be said about this? And I suppose there is. Sure. You can say, yeah, Maduro is no longer in power, and that's probably on balance better for the Venezuelan people. But the manner in which it was done and what the Venezuelan people presumably have to look forward to now doesn't look great from where I'm sitting. But I'm trying to get as much information about it from as many sides as I can.
How much do you think about whatever's going to happen? You had this really interesting post connecting all kinds of dots and thoughts about what's happening in the world geopolitically right now. People should go read it at your Substack. But shouldn't we give a little bit more credit and have a little more, little less arrogance on predicting such uncertain futures when it comes to especially these foreign policy things? Because I was thinking about how, remember when
who's making predictions of surety? Who is saying anything?
Nobody, but I just keep thinking, your question was, we don't know what's going to happen in Venezuela. And I keep thinking about when Trump killed that Iranian general, and me and everybody else was like, World War III. And then nothing like really happened. Then he bombed Iran, and then like nothing really happened. And a lot of things didn't happen after we invaded Iraq. I mean, it was all these things were terrible decisions, and all kinds of things can be true at once and so on. But I don't know, like, what if nothing major or destabilizing happens, and all these predictions of now we're giving permission to Russia and China to invade Ukraine and anywhere they want, and Taiwan, but maybe it doesn't happen. I like to leave open for maybe none of those things will happen.
Sure. That's eminently reasonable of you, but to say that nothing happened after we bombed Iran is not true. There's protests in the streets right now. The Iranian regime looks increasingly enfeebled, and that could be a problem for them in the coming days and weeks and years. Yeah, I mean, all people in today's media landscape, especially, are always predicting World War III, are always predicting doomsday scenarios, and those don't come to pass. And so it's easy to maybe shrug your shoulders and go, well, I guess everything's fine. But what we're seeing in the medium and long term, the trends are extremely concerning. It's extremely concerning that an American president feels like he has the right to go into one of our neighboring countries, pluck the leader from that country, and then just essentially say, yeah, we run things now, and if you don't like it, we'll kill you too.
Yes.
That feels like a problem to me.
International gangsterism, I think, is what Graham Plattner called it. International gangsterism. I'm like, I like that term. It's all mafia.
Is that how Graham Plattner talks? I'm assuming, because I don't know who that is, but the way you said it made me think, oh, that guy's a tough guy. I was
surprised. I was actually surprised by your lack of reaction, because it was such a dead-on Graham Plattner impression, and you didn't seem to be. He's running for Senate in Maine.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
Talks like that. He's really manly.
Yeah, he is.
I like that.
Yeah, he has some scandals, right? Some problems, some Nazi shit.
Problematic tattoos.
Some Nazi shit. I mean, being a Nazi is no longer disqualifying in this country. So we're
On the
going to
left, it is.
get, well,
I
well,
think I think it should be. I think it still is. I mean, you still can't even assault a woman and get elected as a Democrat. I'm pretty sure if you're running as a Democrat and there is a credible accusation of you, you're gone. See you later. Primary field is you think you can get elected as a Democrat with a sexual assault allegation, much less proven? I don't think you can. I think that Democrats are still holding.
It's going to be tough.
It would be tough.
Tim Walz isn't running, which means Klobuchar might be running for governor, which means is Franken going to run for Senate?
Well, I just read that the deal is if Klobuchar runs, Walz could appoint Franken to the Senate. If she drops out to run for governor, the governor then gets to appoint, and so everybody's licking their lips thinking Al Franken would be appointed, but I don't think he would do that. I don't know. Do you? Do you know Al Franken?
I don't know. I've met him. I've talked to him, but I can't say I know him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he's a very effective senator. Railroaded out for, at the time, I thought legitimate reasons. But for whatever mistakes he's made, he certainly served his penance, if he indeed made those mistakes. And I'd certainly welcome back.
What do you make, Michael Ian Black, of the fracturing of the MAGA movement? You know, I call it the hoods off movement. This kid Nick Fuentes, I bet you're pretty into him.
Love Nick Fuentes. Yeah, I mean, we started the conversation talking about my skills, and I do think of myself primarily as a handyman. But if I were to place a label even above handyman, it would be groiper.
You do, with all due respect, you do look like a groiper. I'm surprised they haven't even used your face as the main.
We're talking about some sponsorship opportunities. I'm very excited.
What do you
let you know?
What do you make of what's happening? I mean, first, we got to go all the way back to, you wrote a piece that's very popular in your Substack about Charlie Kirk's death and the way everybody was remembering him and so on. But that wasn't too long ago. But I think the consequences or the results of that led to kind of a power vacuum in that lane, if you will. And it seems like he stepped in. Tucker Carlson is like, yes, sir, to Nick Fuentes. And you're seeing them pick sides, all these influential conspiracy nut right wingers. And I don't know what's happening, but I wonder what you think is happening.
I think you just described it. It seems like there are two potential power vacuums. The first is the one left by Charlie Kirk. The second is the one that will be left by Donald Trump in 2028. I'm not of the opinion that he's going to try to run for a third term. If he does, I guess that's a whole other crisis. But it seems like, everybody's jockeying. The influencer side is jockeying for the Charlie Kirk thing. The political side is jockeying for the MAGA crown. There's obviously a lot of overlap between those two groups. So it seems to me that we'll continue to see more fracturing, more civil warring going on until that's settled. And in any normal political party, you would expect that. I mean, you would expect there to be people jostling and elbowing each other to try to get into positions of power. The problem is, with MAGA in particular, the way you secure your position in the MAGA movement is to be ever more grotesque, offensive, belligerent, malevolent, and pugnacious. And so what I think we're going to see is a contest between J.D. Vance trying to rattle as many sabers as he possibly can between now and 2028. And then whoever's thinking about challenging him. The Marjorie Taylor Greene thing, I think, is interesting, not because I believe her in any way, shape, or form, but because it seems to me that she's trying to carve out the kinder, gentler MAGA lane, where she's going to position herself as a more palatable version of Donald Trump, a more palatable America First thing. And I think it's an interesting lane that she's choosing. I don't think it will be successful in any way, shape, or form. But I mean, I guess the Civil War aspect of it doesn't surprise me, but it does have potentially real world implications as expressed by this sort of Venn diagram overlap between the influencers and the political shop, because they both influence each other. And with the Peter Thiel / JD Vance faction, I think what we're looking at is ever more military action. And then, I mean, Marco Rubio might run in 2028, in which case that sets up another potential showdown within the administration, which could lead to, the Cuba invasion, the Greenland annexation, all the rest of it. I don't know. It's just a mess. It's just a fucking mess.
Do you think we should take over Greenland?
Yeah. I've been advocating for that for years. I mean, we need it. You heard the president. We have to have it. We have to have it. And don't ask me why. We just have to have it.
No, I think your analysis is right on. I think it's fascinating what's happening, and it's consequential what's happening. Marjorie Taylor Greene would be running in the lane of America First that thinks that women should be allowed to vote, because Nick Fuentes doesn't think women should be allowed to vote. There's a lot of focus on the anti-Semitism, Michael. Right. And I think that's fine and well and good, because I just watched Nuremberg. I paid full price for it.
Wow. So you're not Jewish.
Is there a code, a free discount code?
we don't pay full price for things.
I know. So, but
wait, do Jews get in free? We should get in free to Nuremberg, right?
You should be able to watch it. They shouldn't be making money. That's a good point.
Yeah.
You should write a letter. But they're very anti-woman, is what I'm saying. He doesn't.
Well, yeah. I mean, Nick Fuentes is an anti-Semitic, misogynistic, 4'3" homosexual man, and that's fine.
You say he's homosexual. He says he hasn't had sex with a woman, and so does this guy Nick Shirley. And I'm confused by this open, public. We as comedians thought that was all the best tongue in cheek. It was too hacky to even say. But because no one would believe you. Now it's a virtue. I'm confused by that. But you say he's gay. Why do you think he's gay?
I don't know. He just pings my gaydar. I don't know.
Yeah, mine too, for sure. Also,
everything he says and does just seems incredibly gay to me. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't think I am.
Yeah, I think he's like a lot of people also think know that he is or something.
Wasn't there a thing where he and that guy Destiny and Destiny's wife had some sort of three-way?
Oh, really? Oh, I got to look that up. Everybody go fact check that for
me. I don't want to slander anybody.
No.
I'm just going to look up Destiny, Nick Fuentes, three. Let's see if that generates anything. Okay, so it says there's apparently Destiny made a sex tape with Nick Fuentes. There seems to be rumor, but it's such a strange rumor. It's because Destiny is a left-wing progressive, and Nick Fuentes is a Nazi, and it just doesn't seem like those two should bone.
Maybe it wasn't about their connection.
Right.
I've been there,
Mm-hmm. You're not above a good hate fuck.
Well, it's that I'm not saying. I'm saying it wouldn't necessarily be like in the way at the top at first. I'd be like, I'm not trying to get into anything serious. But if you believe that, because I know you believe the moon is made of cheese, but we're both lonely,
right? It's late. We've had a little bit to drink.
Yeah.
Let's just not talk.
Tucker Carlson interviewed Nick Fuentes, and Tucker Carlson used to call him this weird little gay kid all the time. So if he can say it, we can say it.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Tucker Carlson, I think, said that he saw him at a gay club, or somebody saw him at a gay club. Anyway, enough about Nick Fuentes. It's important, though, just to talk about that movement, that Groyper movement. All those young men. Why are they saying that they don't have sex with women? Why is that? Why does that give them a bigger following than me?
Well, you also don't have sex with women. I guess the difference is it's not by choice with you.
Yeah, but the difference is I don't say it as out loud on camera, that because we're friends. But I wouldn't be like, yeah, the one thing about me is no one ever wants to touch me.
Yeah, well, it's so weird. Like the I guess what I think is that whole Nick Fuentes, Groiper, Virgin incel thing is largely, maybe almost exclusively, an online phenomenon,
Mm.
and that real people who just comport their lives in ordinary ways, whether they're Trump supporters or not, aren't aren't thinking that sex with women is gay. Like, I don't know. I don't really understand it. It just seems like it's clickbaity and weird and deliberately so.
I do think, though, in the common thread is his arguments and his viral videos, whatever, and his influence is making real insidious arguments more palatable for a lot
Yeah.
of dumb
Oh,
dogs.
no doubt that, like, mainstreaming anti-Semitism, I mean, I was going to say mainstream misogyny, but you don't really need to do that. It's already mainstreamed. Um, yeah, that has a lot of appeal to a certain segment of the population, and yeah, I mean, we're, but it's no different than, mainstreaming Muslim hate or Haitian hate or anything else. I mean, it's just what they do, and they do it for very specific reasons, which I think we all understand, which is the same reason anybody scapegoats anybody. It's a way of asserting dominance, power, and it's a way of it's a magic trick. It's just saying, look at this over here, look at this over here, and then you pick in their pocket over there.
Also, I think it's also the kind of grift or the grist that they have to feed on to define them. They're all victims,
Right.
right? And
Right.
and they have to blame Somalis.
Well, they've had it too good for too long, those Somalis.
It's about time we rein in the Somalian diaspora.
They deserve compensation, whether through Medicaid fraud or whatever, simply for dealing with Minneapolis winters after growing up in Somalia. They deserve something.
I think that I would thought you were going to say they deserve compensation for the same reason, like the Haitian community, like any of these communities that Trump and his minions have absolutely savaged. Like, you should get money back because now you're being targeted. They target people all the time, but entire specific immigrant communities. The Haitians are eating the cats and dogs. The Haitians, like, we should get money for that. Somalians are all, they should be like, with this shit was run by a white lady. Like, pay us now that you're over here fucking working, doing all kinds of shitty jobs. And you're calling us monsters and animals and saying we eat your fucking pets. We eat your pets. Check, please.
I mean, what is Haitian food? Like, what's good Haitian food? Do you even know?
It's Creole food. It's like French inspired or something. I don't know. I don't know.
Is Creole, I thought Creole was sort of an American hodgepodge of Haitian and French and Creole and all the rest of it. I don't know.
What I do know is living in New York and a little in Florida, like, I don't know. The Haitian people are like really fun and funny. And I know that alone is racist, saying that a whole group of people is fun and funny, but certainly the ones I've met and worked with are just like the nicest people and really interesting. And I don't know.
I find it incredibly racist of you to call Haitian people nice and interesting.
But it felt like
a very broad brush. Jean Wyclef got in a lot of trouble for fraud and such.
A lot of people do, but then they get pardoned. That's one of the most outrageous things that I feel like this asshole kind of does every day, just in case you're having a good hour. It's like, here's a guy who defrauded people out of their retirement. The worst white collar crime you can do is take someone's hard-earned savings, and I'm going to let him off the hook, and he doesn't have to pay any restitution. And then you're like, oh man, I was just feeling pretty good for an hour.
I'm trying not to let the pardons bother me because there's so many other things that bother me. Yeah. So if he's letting people out of jail, I guess I'm just going to go, okay, whatever. There's just too many other things for me to get upset about.
He's probably going to give Maduro a pardon. It's like catch and release. It's like showing his power.
Hilarious if he pardons Maduro. If Maduro can come up with enough money, he will. He will pardon him.
True. It's absolutely right. And I'm sure he probably wasn't smart enough to already make that offer, he wouldn't have gotten snatched in the middle of the night if he would have just moved and sent a check to Don Jr.
Right. Right.
We can call
What
this.
do you think the going rate for a Maduro pardon is right now?
Oh, I think they look at the wealth of the target and decide.
Do you think it's more than 100 million?
It's just a pardon so easy, and nothing costs him anything. So it's no, probably not.
Do you think 50? You think more or less?
Probably he's got a lot somewhere. I don't know how much he's got. They know how much Marco Rubio or somebody knows how much money he's got, so they take as much of it. That's the name. That's the price. We know how much money you have. If you want the thing that you need, the only thing that I can give you, it's all mafia. It's all mafia. It's the easiest way to understand it, and it's just so hard to believe that we're. I mean, the Europeans are scared to react right now,
which is crazy. I mean, the idea. I understand that it's dangerous to upset the United States. I understand that could be a little bit dangerous, but if you're the European Union, if you're NATO, it just seems like you have to come incredibly strong at this guy. It's the only thing he respects. He doesn't respect negotiation. He doesn't respect diplomacy. He backs down from threats. I mean, he's a pussy ultimately. And why Europe and isn't taking a harder line, I don't fully understand. It seems like, yeah, I mean, I started my column today with a quote from him, which is now a very famous quote, where he said, "Nobody can stop us," a couple of days ago. Yeah. He's right. Nobody's stepping up. Nobody has the will to stop this guy. And it's incredibly unclear right now what it is he's trying to accomplish. I mean, I have my own ideas, which I wrote about yesterday, which are paranoid delusions, but I don't think they're too far off.
I actually really liked that piece, but I just kept coming away from, and I'm not certain that you were saying this, that much of the plan comes from Trump himself versus those around him, because I don't think he planned the end of the day.
No, I probably implied that Trump was thinking during my piece, and I didn't mean to imply that. I do think there's a plan. I think Trump is aware of the sort of basic outlines of it and approves of them, but I think that it's more nefarious and further reaching than anybody's talking about. And I think it ultimately ends with a Russian-American pact. That is my prediction. If MAGA were to stay in power, which I don't know that they will.
It's a very interesting piece. People should go read it. What do you think about the idea of you and I on a humanitarian mission together? We rent a 30-foot boat, 3 outboard motors, and we patrol the Caribbean and we publicize it. So you have a huge social media following, and I have a boating license, and we'll show people that, you know, we should be able to ride in our boat around in the Caribbean. How do you feel about this idea and doing this with me as a humanitarian?
What is your life insurance situation like right now?
I have a life insurance policy.
You too. So let's go.
I think maybe you should put your money where your mouth is.
Mm-hmm. And what am I trying to communicate here? That we are allowed to navigate international waters without fear of being
attention. Overall, it brings attention to the assassinations and potentially ours.
Right. If
we get blown up, that would be maybe a crucible, an inflection point. But I'm a patriot.
It would be great for my career. You know? Nobody knows my name now. I get blown up in the Caribbean.
I think they're going to zoom in with that military camera, and it's like you'll be clinging to a piece of wood, and they'll be like, "Is that Michael Ian Black?
Is that the guy from VH1?"
What do you think of? I just got to ask you this, and then I'll leave you alone. I know you have to go do some handyman stuff. What do you think about? I should look. Maybe you wrote about it recently, or maybe the Epstein. Everybody says this is a wag the dog, a distraction. This Venezuelan thing from Epstein and everything else that he's just really made Trump unpopular. But what do you think is going to happen with this Epstein thing? Do you think we're all going to find out?
Exactly nothing is what I think will happen.
Oh.
I mean, we could find out. Megyn Kelly, of all people, basically said, I don't care. I don't care. And I think the quote was, I don't care if he got handsy with somebody 20 years ago. So I think MAGA world has already accepted the idea that Trump is, at the very least, a sexual criminal and potentially a pedophile. Or if not a pedophile, then at least guilty of crimes with children, sex crimes with children. And I think they don't care. And if they don't care, then nothing's going to happen because the Democrats can't do anything.
I think you're wrong, and I'm almost always right, as you know. And I love when people say, as you know, it's about a thing that they don't know and don't agree with. It's such a fucking a shitty thing to do, as you know. So, and what I mean is, I think the only reason he's not letting us see this and has worked so hard to make this cover up is because it is so bad. And I believe it's all about him being a cuck to Melania and Jeffrey Epstein. And it's got to be worse than that. It's got to be him with lots and lots of girls or something. And that's why, and more. And otherwise, why would he cover it up so much if what you're saying is correct? It's all I hang my hat on. And I know I'm
not saying he didn't do anything. I'm saying if there was the evidence that you're suggesting there is in those files, it would have come out.
Yeah.
If there was a smoking gun, we would have seen it already. I suspect. I could be wrong.
I want you to name what the smoking gun might be, because
I don't know, but Stormy Daniels has said it's the size and shape of a mushroom.
Oh, wow.
I mean, my honest assessment of the case of Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein is as follows. I do not believe Donald Trump is naturally inclined towards pedophilia. However, because of everything we know about him and his endless desire to be accepted and loved by people who he perceives as being powerful and or rich, I think he was well aware of what Epstein was doing. I think he probably was what's the word? Was a conspirator, but was an accessory to it.
Yeah, which
is just as well. I don't know that it's close to just as bad, if not as bad. And I also think he probably did partake in at least a couple of occasions, if for no other reason than to impress Jeffrey Epstein. That's my best guess as to what happened.
I think he's a pedophile because he loves being around, I won't say underage. I got scolded for saying underage girls. They're called children, is what someone said. At all these beauty pageants, that he was even involved with, that's fucking creepy. Mm-hmm. I was always above those, Michael.
You're so brave.
Yeah.
Well, the modeling agency was, allegedly just like a trafficking front and all the rest of it. I think it's entirely possible he trafficked.
Wonderful secret.
Yeah.
I think they have a wonderful secret. I think the secret is they're attracted to 14-year-old girls. That's their wonderful secret. I don't think it's a wonderful secret. I think that's bad.
Wow. Okay. So you're taking a pretty brave stance, and I commend that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And I think the easiest thing in the world is to say, yeah, of course he's a pedophile. I don't know. And it's such an atrocious, I mean, look, it's such an atrocious thing to call somebody. I mean, but it would be hardly the most atrocious thing about Donald Trump, which is crazy. It's crazy that wouldn't be the worst thing about him, but it's not.
I love your message from your Substack the other day, wishing everybody a magnificent 2026. I thought it was I liked it. I liked the positivity.
I was trying to be positive. It's not that I was trying to be positive. I was acknowledging that 2026 is likely to be worse than 2025 for a host of reasons. All of that will come to a crescendo at the midterms, After the midterms, it could get much, much, much worse. If, for example, he doesn't respect the results of the midterm elections, which I think is likely, because I think it's likely Democrats will do very, very well. When that happens, how he responds could throw the country into legitimate crisis, even more than we're having right now. But having said all that, I also said that you wrote my words, so I'll just read them.
I wanted you to, I was putting that in the chat and I was going to ask you to read it, but this is
here it is. I wish you all a magnificent 2026 in whichever ways you find magnificence. Whatever challenges come this year aren't yours to bear alone. Be there for each other. Allow others to be there for you, which is oftentimes the more difficult task. Give yourself space when you need it and rush headlong into the crowd when they need it. Maybe write something, a few words, a memory. Do it just for yourself. Maybe make something. Allow yourself to be large and small. Allow yourself to be hard and soft. That wasn't a dick joke. Allow yourself. The coming year is likely to be bad, but good things will happen, maybe many of them. My wish for you is that in these bad times, you remain alert for the good.
Oh, I loved it. I love the way you wrote it. I love that you wrote it. I love that it came from you. And I love that you just read it.
Oh, it's ChatGPT. I don't write anything.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I don't even know how to write.
Are you in a relationship with one of those?
Here's the thing. I have experimented a little bit with ChatGPT. And what I found almost immediately, I found it confounding that anybody would fall in love with ChatGPT when it's so obviously like inhuman, like just not human in any way, shape, or form. It speaks to you the way it clearly thinks you want to be spoken to. And if you're that dumb to fall for that as a kind of, that you think that the stripper at the bar really likes you, then I don't know, you shouldn't have access to it in the first place.
I think that that's the kind of privileged, not lonely enough attitude I hear from you. You have a lovely, lovely wife. You posted a picture of her, I think, on her birthday or something. And might I say, just a ravish, beautiful woman. And that's her 8th best quality, I'm guessing. But really.
Ravishing? You described my wife as ravishing?
Is it a word?
Yeah, it's a word, but to ravish somebody is to have your way with them. Are you saying you want to have your way with my wife?
Yes.
Oh, thank you for clarifying. That's why I asked.
If you must put me on the spot, but I just want to talk architecture with her. But I think that people are lonely with their ChatGPTs or something. I don't know. I agree with you, and I think that people should not do that. But the way that some people talk about them, it is as if they're a trusted friend, and I don't.
Really weird. I do think it's a useful tool. Like, I'm not one of these people who is like reflexively anti-AI. I acknowledge all the problems with it. But I have found that if you have a very specific question, it's an excellent way to get an answer. Like just today, I was saying, how do you put up shelves? And it said, first things first, make sure your coffee cups are as close to where you're working as possible.
Yeah.
I did. It worked out great.
Your sabotages. I like that. Michael, thank you for joining me today. As always, a real pleasure. Keep up all the great work in 2026. I am so grateful to have you joining me whenever you do.
Thank you, Pete. I always enjoy being with you.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining. See you later.